Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be walking through Facebook Ads Manager with new 2024 updates. I've made a video on this every year for the last few years, and they've done really well. And each time there's a few new things. And in this one, I'm going to be cutting a lot of the technical setup because at this point, I know a lot of you already have your pixel installed. You already have probably run some ads before. If not, you've boosted posts, which I never recommend. You can check out a recent video on my channel from about 2 months ago on why you should never boost a post. You always want to use Facebook Ads Manager. But I'm going to be just showing you a few things that you really want to do with the 2024 landscape. A lot of it is just that it got a lot easier to set up, really. So that's the good news. I'm not going to be diving into how to run ad campaigns as far as the marketing and the copywriting goes, but be sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want more info like that, because I'm about to blitz a lot of different advertising videos. I'm going to be doing a video on ads for e-commerce. I'm going to be doing a video on ads for marketing agencies, lead generation for high ticket services, because they really do need to be done in separate videos because they're all so different. And if I try to include a bunch of examples in this video, it's just going to go everywhere. So we're just going to build an ad step by step, and I'm going to just talk you through some of the buttons. Now, if at any point in this video it gets too confusing, what I'd invite you to do is go down to the description and book a free call with me. We'll talk for about 15 to 20 minutes about what you're looking for. Honestly, it always goes longer than that. I would like to think it's that, but I love talking business, so it usually takes like 30 to 45 because it's just a lot of fun. And what we'll do is I offer two things. I can either teach you how to run ads for your company, or my company can do them for you. So if at any point this is confusing, you're just like, this is too much, I need extra help, or I just don't even want to learn this at all, then I figured I should let you know now that you're not at a loss. You don't need to learn this. If you don't like this, you don't need to learn it. You can just get on a call. I've run ads for over 200 companies at this point. So yeah, we really know what we're doing, and I will walk you through how we would run ads for your company, what kind of budget you should expect, what kind of results that you should expect, all of that good stuff. And then I can either teach it to you on a few separate calls where you and I will build it out together, and by the end, then you will understand how to run ads for your company, or you could say, I don't want anything to do with this and just let my company run it. So book a call even right now if you already know that's going to be you. Otherwise, let's get started. So of course, you can guess we're going to click on create to begin with. And I'm just going to briefly explain what each of these does. So awareness, you're never going to do this. That's the cool thing. You're never going to do this. It is for just getting people to see your post for as cheap as possible. And because it's for getting people to see your post for as cheap as possible, who are the cheap people to show ads to? They are the people who do not fill out lead forms, and then they're the people who do not buy. So a lot of people are like, will run awareness or traffic campaigns and they'll wonder why they're not getting sales. And it's because Facebook will get you exactly what you ask for. So you're rarely going to do a traffic campaign either, because it gets you link clicks, and maybe say, well, I do want to get people over to my website. Yeah, but do you want them to click the link, or do you want them to buy? Because you're going to need them to buy. So you're pretty much never going to do awareness or traffic. And when you boost a post on Instagram, when you press like the boost or the promote button on either Instagram or Facebook, it is doing an awareness or a traffic campaign, which is why you'll get likes, you might get followers, you're never going to get sales from these people, and that's why it's just a waste of money. Now, engagement campaigns is something that I think is going to be really big this year. And the reason why is because you can do a messenger invite. And how this looks, I recently ran ads for a wedding photographer where we ran an ad and it said, if you're looking to film or you're looking to shoot an engagement session, then and you would like to know where the top 5 locations in Arizona are to shoot your engagement session, then just DM me the word Arizona. And what happens is when they click on the ad, it pops up a little window that gives them a single button option. They don't have to type in Arizona in that case. They just click send on Arizona, and it sends the message, and then an auto reply also comes back. So you get to set your auto reply message. And then it says, all right, here's the 5 locations that I recommend. When are you looking to get this done, right? And then it starts a conversation. So it's really cool because you can have people get closed in the DMs this way. rather than you just having them fill out a lead form and then or just like hopefully buying on your website. So for coaches especially, this would be a phenomenal idea to do. For me, if I was just trying to sell like an organic growth Instagram package, I could run an engagement campaign that says, if you would like me to do a free audit of your Instagram account, DM me the word audit and I will get back to you within the next 48 hours. And then I'd just get all these people DMing me the word audit. I'd give them a few tips on their Instagram account, and then I would try to get them on a phone call and sell them an organic marketing package, right? That's how that could work. So for any coaches out there, this is great. And it's especially great for those of you that don't have an offer proven yet, or you're still tweaking it, because a lot of you just need to have a lot more conversations with people and see who is even taking you up on your ad. Because once you can see who it is, you can go over to their Instagram, see what they're like, and make sure it's actually a targeted client. So if you're really in the phase where you're really trying to craft an offer still, then DMing people and just getting these conversations started is going to be the quickest way for you to figure it out. So definitely check out an engagement campaign. I wouldn't recommend this for products that don't really need that much of an explanation, unless you're giving away like a free guide or a free resource. It just wouldn't be necessary. Leads is for people to fill out a lead form either on Facebook or Instagram, or to go over to your site and fill it out. So name, email, potentially phone number. Anytime you're looking for that, you're always going to want to just put leads. And then app promotions for apps. Sales is, of course, sales. If you are ever trying to actually get a sale from the ad, this always has to be the option that you go with, because if someone goes over your website and they add the product to cart, but they don't buy, then it's going to know the objective is not complete yet. So keep showing it to them. We're looking for sales. So because they haven't bought yet, we're going to keep showing them the ad until they do. And it also is very good at knowing, oh, this is the time of day where this person typically buys things. This person is most likely to buy things through Instagram stories rather than the Facebook feed. So it's going to just optimize everything according to this person's decade long or more of purchasing behavior on social media. So that is why you never want to try to be fancy to get some kind of discount or whatever. You always want to tell Facebook exactly what you are going for. Now, the next thing that you need to understand is there's just these three levels of setting up advertising: campaign, ad set, ad. And you can see that they are within each other very clearly here. The campaign is always going to be exactly what you're doing. So if you're doing like New Year's sale, then that's your campaign name, right? If you're running a giveaway, it's called giveaway. If you're running a Black Friday sale, whatever it is, you're going to do that. This catalog is for those of you that have a Shopify store that is integrated with your Facebook shop or your Instagram shop, so that you can run ads directly tied to that. This will also be good for, it's mostly just for any e-commerce businesses, but it will know if you have like a clothing store, it will know which clothes they've been looking at, and it will optimize the ad to be those clothings. I'm going to turn this off for now, but it's really just great for clothing stores, and artists are the ones that you're probably going to want to try to do this. Otherwise, it's rarely something you'll use. Advantage campaign budget is usually something that you'll want to turn on. I will explain that later, but it basically just gives Facebook a little bit more control with your budget, and they're pretty good at knowing what to do with it now. So a lot of how ads have changed in 2024 versus before is, before, giving Facebook too much control was actually not a good idea. It was better to have more manual control, but now a lot of the options that you want to choose now are automatic. So that's why I was saying before that it actually is quite a bit quicker to set up the ad campaign. So that's the good news. So ad set, what this is who are we going to show it to and where? So this is going to be like, let's say that I am a local clothing store in Boston, okay? So I'm just gonna say like Boston plus 50 miles is like what I'm going to do, all right? And what you're gonna wanna do, you definitely wanna have a Facebook pixel if you don't already have that installed. This video is not on how to do it because a lot of you already have that taken care of, but certainly do that. And let's say that the goal is purchases. So I'm gonna put that, and this option is one that you're always going to want to do besides two scenarios. So let me explain that. So dynamic creative is basically a way that it makes it so if we wanted to test like a bunch of different captions and a bunch of different images or videos, which you always want to do, you never want to just put out one ad. You always want to start with at least, I say 4 images, 3 like bare minimum, and at least 2 captions. All right, you at least need to start there, because you're never going to come out with the best ad first. I mean, when you get better and better at advertising, I will say like your first guess is a lot more likely to be correct over time, but it still is probably not the best possible ad that you could ever run. So a lot of advertising, you need to understand that it's a mindset that you are a great split tester, more so than you are just a great copywriter on the first try. You come out with all these ideas and then you just test them all, and then you run. A lot of times even like 10 to 20 bucks being spent on an idea will tell you if it's going to work or not. It will tell you if it's going to work, like not work at all by then, but then you'll know if it's going to work or not by like 50 to 100 bucks spent. So that's a really great thing. So dynamic creative is more to do with the next step. I'll show you what that does, but there's only 2 scenarios where you can't do dynamic creative. One is if you are running Instagram ads to a lead form. Now a lead form is a form that pops up on the app natively. They don't go over to your site. It's just a quick application form, and you can have them fill out name, email, phone number, and even questions. And it just is an application that you set up on Facebook itself, and I love doing those. But for whatever reason, you can't do dynamic creative and an Instagram ad to a lead form. The other one is if you are doing a carousel post that needs to be in a specific order. So if you're doing a carousel post, which is just multiple images, and the first image says, shop our brand new fall collection, and then the second one is a t-shirt, the third one is a jacket, the fourth one is whatever, and then the last slide says, sale ends this Friday. Like if it needs to be in that order, if you do dynamic creative, it is going to auto switch up the order. So you can turn off dynamic creative though and tell them do not switch up the order. So a carousel that can't be rearranged is the only other scenario. Otherwise, every other situation you're gonna want to turn on dynamic creative. Now the budget, I'm gonna explain that Advantage campaign budget before. This would be if you wanted to control the budget at the ad set level, or you can control the budget at the or the campaign level. So let's say like I've got this Boston 50 miles, right? That's my ad set. It's who I'm showing this ad to. If I wanted to make another ad set right next to it at this level, and then this one was going to be New York plus 50 miles, then how that's going to look is you can see on the left side here, they're still both part of the New Year's sale campaign, right? So I got Boston, then I got New York. I can say control the budget at the ad set level. So hey, New York gets 10 bucks, Boston gets 40 bucks. Or I could say the campaign gets 50 bucks, and then Facebook, you figure out how much Boston gets and how much New York gets. All right, so one more time, I can control it at the ad set level, and to do so, I would just turn this off. At this campaign level, I would turn off Advantage campaign budget. So if I want to say, look, I need Boston to get 10 bucks and New York to get 40, then I would turn this off. If I say, you know better than I do, Facebook, I know I want to spend 50 bucks a day on these ads. You pick how much goes to Boston and how much goes to New York. That is what Advantage campaign budget means. And like I was saying before, they're just so good at knowing what to do with it now that in most ad campaigns, I do the Advantage campaign budget unless I'm really wanting to be particular of how much, you know, each person or each ad set gets. So the next thing you're going to want to do, let's go to just a single ad set. So in this case, right, I would set my location to Boston. I would exit that. I'd put in Boston here, and I'm just going to do that just so you can see it real quick. Wow. And I would, you know, switch that to 50 miles or whatever you want. All right, simple as that. Now, the other thing would be the targeting. So what I would do here, I would go to original audience options in basically every situation, because you can just say, Facebook, you have full control over what to do with this. And we are basically going to do that. but you do want to be able to set age and gender if that is necessary. So like, let's say this is a clothing store for just women. All right, sweet. You're going to want to set that yourself. If I know that like no one over 45 ever buys my clothing, then also I'm going to want to control that as well. All right, so we're going 18 to 45. Now, here's the cool thing is in the past, like if I was a clothing store, I'd be like clothing, and let me also put in that they also have to be interested in fashion, and you more had to do this kind of targeting, right? You would put in like all these interests and layer them so that you could find like the narrow demographic. Nowadays, you actually are going to want to do nothing. And I've tested this so many times for different companies, and basically every scenario, open targeting, as it's called, pretty much always wins. And that is that you put in no targeting, okay? So you're not going to put in anything about them. Instead, what you're going to do is in your ad copy, you're going to make it very clear what you're selling, and then you're going to let Facebook's algorithm take it from there. Like even when I was running ads for that wedding photographer, like I can put in like that these people are engaged, right? They've changed their Facebook status to engaged. And I was like, that's gotta win, right? Like engaged relationship status has gotta win. And it did not. When I ran engaged relationship status versus just nothing here at all, the thing with nothing still won, because it still knows like, well, this person, they didn't update their Facebook engagement status, but we know based off of what they're doing online that they are definitely engaged, right? So you just leave it open now is just the cool thing. Languages I also don't set unless maybe if you're in like Miami where there's a bunch of different languages spoken, then you can specify English. But if you're not really dealing with marketing to an area where like people really don't speak whatever language you're trying to sell to, it's best just to leave it open, because it can tell that you wrote it in English or whatever language you wrote it in, and it will take care of that for you. But there's a bunch of people who don't have their spoken language listed, and then all of a sudden they would be excluded from your ads. So you don't want to do that either. Manual placements you still want to do. This is just where we're going to show the ad. And you're going to want to just pick of wherever this ad is properly formatted for. So a lot of times you're not going to run an ad on the feed that is also on the stories, because this is 9:16, and then this is a max of 1:1 on Facebook or a max of 4:5 on Instagram. So this is, these little things can kind of get confusing sometimes. But the reason why you're always going to want to do manual is because at the bare minimum, you're going to want to turn off search results. This is if someone typed in a search and then your ad shows right there. So it's a horrible place to put an ad. If they typed in, oh, Derek Videll, let me look him up from my high school, I want to find him, then I'm going to come up right there, Derek Videll. So they're on a mission, right? They're obviously going to go check out my account, but they're not going to be like, oh, an ad, I'll come back for Derek later. Like they're not even going to see it, right? So I always turn off search results at the bare minimum, but you can turn off anything else that is not good for formatting. Moving on to the ad set, or the actual ad. Now what I call this is I just say how many different images I'm going to do and how many different captions I'm going to do. So let's say that you're going to go with 3 images and 2 captions. And then you're going to, let's run ads for so many people. All right, we're going to run it from Social Bamboo. And that one doesn't have a connected Instagram account. Otherwise, it would just appear right there, no problem. And multi-advertiser ads, you do want to turn on. Partnership ad, this is only as if you are running ads from an influencer's account. Like you can do paid ads that appear that they come from an influencer's account. So that's a great idea if you do it, but it's very rarely something that people do. You're going to want to turn off optimized creative for each person. And the reason why is because it will try to mix up your caption, your headline, and your description, which are totally different things. Your caption is probably going to be way longer than your headline, and it will be like, let's put your headline in the caption, and your headline might just be like, download free guide, right? And your primary text is like explaining exactly your free guide in detail, right? So like you don't want to put like you don't want this and this to like swap. It wouldn't even make sense at that point. So you're not going to want to do that. But what dynamic creative does is it allows you to just say like, all right, I'm going to run ads to this image and this image and like that's it, right? These 3 images I'm going to run ads to because this is a 3 image campaign, right? And what it's going to do is it's just going to cycle between these images and it's going to find the winner for you. And it's going to mix them with your different captions. So let's say that that's my first caption. And my second caption is even more detailed explanation. So a lot of times what my difference between my captions will be is like one of them is barely any information, the other one is a lot more information, and then you just kind of see, does the lot of information win or the little information? And then you can say, all right, little information won, so let's do, you know, still not as much as the fully detailed, but a little bit more, right? And you can just try to find like how much information converts the best, right? Is kind of like a test that I'm kind of running with my captions sometimes, apart from like the angle of the pitch that I'll take. It's just a matter of how much info am I going to give them. So of course we're going to run this to socialbamboo.com, which you always, you know, all of you should go check that out for sure, of course. And that's pretty much it, okay? I'm just going to give you that simple explanation. Headline, download free guide, the description is that down there. So usually what my description is whenever the end date of something is. Like let's say this is ending on February 8th. Like that's basically what I found to always be the best description. It's just like real small text, but it just gives you that last final urgency for your ad. So you can cop that from me. Your headline, you're basically always gonna wanna put this as, if they only read the headline, they're still going to get what's going on. So I'm running ads for a CrossFit company right now, and they're doing a 2-week free trial. So the headline is get 2 weeks free to CrossFit, right? Or try CrossFit 2 weeks free. So it should basically just like spit it out. Like what's the ad, exactly what it does. And like headlines are different now than how they used to be in marketing in the past. Like newspaper ads used to, the headline, you're trying to like scare tactic people. Like now it's just clarity, okay? Like the name of the game with advertising moving forward is just have an awesome product or service. And if you don't have that, you're screwed. Nothing you can do will work, right? Like the product has to be freaking amazing. And then all you do is just have complete clarity and you just spit it out. You just spit it out exactly what people get. So that's why you're going to want to be subscribed so you can check out the other videos, because I'm running ads for so many different companies right now. I have so many examples that I can show you guys. So I'm going to be diving deep into, here's exactly what some of my captions say, what exactly my ads look like, and the results that I'm getting. And I'm going to really spell it out for you. So that completes the ad tutorial today. And would appreciate if you could like this video, leave any comments, with any questions that you have, and I'll respond to all of you. You can find me on Instagram at socialbamboo with an underscore at the end, and be sure to book that call if you're just ready to get off ads and you want them to work the first time. I had to spend at least $20,000 to $30,000 to figure out how not to run ads before I started becoming profitable with ads, and I don't want that to be you. So if you want to make sure your first campaign is successful, then join my Done With You program, and we will do it together. We'll put our heads together, and the first ad campaign is going to crush it. I've done this long enough that I've got a very good vision on whether it's set up right or not. Or you could say, I don't want to learn this at all. That was already too much for me. Derek, just do it. So in that case, still book the same call before, and I will talk to you shortly, my friends. Have a good day.